Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to my bonsai retreat. Right now, it's March the 21st, and this is our first chance to look at the windswept photograph project that I took on. One of Tony Higginson's of TonysBonsai, God rest his soul, took a brilliant photo. You're probably seeing it right now. As you know, that I did an episode where I actually constructed this, and I sort of encouraged other people, if you've got really favourite photographs of trees, try and replicate them yourselves. Now this is a Silver Birch Group, and in terms of what I'm going to do right now, well, really, I've got to remove that wire. It's not biting in all the places, but it will. So, first thing to do is have a look and see, one, have we got many dead branches. Unfortunately, this is looking a bit not so well. And just compare it to the photo and see if we can do some initial pruning right now. But I think the first thing we'll do, get that wire off. Must be the sun's out because I can hear machinery. Okay, wire came off nice and easily, and it's held into position, and there's just the faintest of scarring. So really happy I took it off now. I've been looking at my picture. I'm sure you can't see it from there, but I've just propped a rock to push that in closer. All I've got to look at is now buds that are going to go off that way. General locations aren't too bad. I need it to be brushing off this way. There's actually a lovely little bud down there. What we'll do for now, I can wire that, but for now I want to see if I can get buds that are going to point it in the way I want it. So for now we'll just, buds that are going to go that way. Raining over quite a lot. Little one that's coming up towards, and I mean truthfully, I'm going to be building this over quite a while. Mr. Sand or Driller's been going at it for a while, so I'm going to keep on. I might put a bit of wire onto that. In fact, no, I'll do my wiring like I always do later on in the year. This is the main shape I want with these branches here, so I've cut them back further. Sorry about the drill, can't do anything about it now. So we've got these crossing, just want to bring that back to there. I still want this to come over there. There's buds here and here, so we're going to get more branches coming out this way. And remember, the whole idea is to get the sweep this way. I want to try and do it with clip and grow. So it's probably as much as I'm going to do right now, so maybe we'll have a look at this in another 6 weeks' time. Okay, so it was only really taking the wire off, clipping a few buds back, and then we're going to let this go out and try and encourage everything to go that way. As I said, I'm trying to avoid wire if I can. Probably here I might have to take it over. But hey, I'm going to feed it, get some fertilizer on there, and I reckon with a little bit of Xavier magic and a count of 3, you'll find that we're going to be 6 or 7 weeks further on and we're going to see lots of growth. 3, 2, 1. Well, here we are, 18th of June, would you believe it? No sun, but certainly we've got a lot of growth on this project now, and I've got to be wary. I know I put some wire down here, so I need to probably remove that wire because I'm liable to, I know me, I'm going to forget that, so I will probably remove that. Now, in this instance, I'm not going to be referring to the picture. All I'm going to do is just prune back growth just a weeny bit.
I roast a mean weenie.
Just to see if we can encourage some more back budding and just give it a little bit of sense of shape. And I think what I do want to concentrate at this point in the year is I want a lot of healthy growth. I want to be feeding the roots, but I want the thing to continue to thrive. And then when we look at it when leaf fall happens, then again I can reassess where it is with my my sort of broad design on Tony's tree. We've got some stuff that's dying inside, and that's one of the issues when you get a big canopy. You start losing growth inside, and that's what I want to try and avoid. So I'm going to clear this stuff out and just make sure, look, if you can see there, we've got a shoot that's going straight up. So let's get rid of that shoot. There we go. Again, I mean, it's lovely that we're getting this growth, but still want to keep it clear. Just keep everything near the trunk. Remove that stuff. And again, it also helps me to see just how that wire is in there. And I'm probably alright for another couple of weeks. So let's just... and then looking close in here, we've got more stuff growing from those junctions. Definitely don't want those, so we'll clean that up. Okay, so we've cleared that back and given it a nice bit of definition and shape. Now we've got to try and do something with all these great, look at the size of some of these leaves. We need to prune all this back, and tell you what, in a couple of seconds when you see it, it's going to be back to where I want to leave it. Right, well there you go. Hopefully it's back into some sort of control, and you can see that obviously I need those to go off this way, but I want more shoots to develop from where I've pruned to give the extra ramification rather than a single branch being wound and bent. I need to have a look again at the picture to just remind myself what's going on down here. But again, these bud so profusely when they're healthy, I will get points if I've got something missing. And again, we've got this here, and yes, for the 9th time, don't forget the wire, Xav. So if you want to do anything good for me today, whack in the comments, don't forget the wire, Xav. That's good, isn't it? So there it is, the continuation of the Bonsai Photo Challenge, which I've started in honour of Tony, of TonysBonsai, God rest his soul. And I'm actually now really starting to see this coming to life. All I do need to do, notice there's a few bits of discoloration on the leaves. Let's just give it a general multi-purpose bug spray. There we go. Now obviously it's had a pruning, so what do? We shove it somewhere shady and leave it for a couple of months, and probably might just feed it up as well with some biogold. I reckon we'll probably revisit this again as we move into the autumn and when we're looking at the leaf fall, just to do the final pruning, ready to take it into the winter for year. Well, that'll be taking it into end of year 2, won't it? So see you in a minute. So goodness gracious, here we are. It's now the 13th of November, well in the throes of autumn, and next week looks like temperatures are going to be dropping down to 0/-1 in Grantham. Now clearly it's still holding on to a few leaves maybe, but truthfully I think we're now ready to get this tree set up for the winter. And all I'm going to be needing to do there is have a little look around the base, make sure we haven't got any funguses, anything that may cause root rot problems, and just confirm that the soil itself isn't matted over with any other horrible mosses or stuff that will make the transfer of oxygen and water and all that sort of stuff possible when it gets a bit more cold. It's always interesting with these. We're going to cut back a few things, but I actually amaze me how even at this time of the year the weather can confuse a tree, and boy, this silver birch has definitely been confused.
Because I get easily confused.
Not only because we've got sun, but for some reason I think it thinks it's spring. And sure enough, here small green buds have opened up, and unfortunately, and they're all over the tree, that's a bit of a shame, because no matter how much I'd like to think they've got a chance of getting through this weather, they're not going to develop much more and will undoubtedly die off. So we may end up losing this growth because of this false budding. So again, we still see the design is still fitting in fairly closely to what we were looking at. We need stuff to be going over that way, and right now I'm literally going to be cutting back, sorting out any stubs, anything like that, and setting up buds that are closer in to the buds that I want to be shooting out in the spring. Where I've done bigger cuts, they should be fine, but better be safe than sorry, especially with birch. I'll just put a little bit of cut paste on the ends of the bigger cuts. But ideally, rather than having those green swelling buds, what we really want is them to be quite hard little nuts, so to speak, get themselves ready to go to sleep for a good few months. So got all the stubs off, Just reminding myself about the picture, everything definitely wind sweeps this way, so we must have strong breeze over here. So that means we want to be concentrating all of that. So to do that, I am going to be cutting back anything really that suggests growth this way. Try to concentrate everything going this way. So where I've got buds on the inside, they're the ones that I want. The wind is pushing it that way. We need to continue that feeling. And then again, we look, we've got some lovely stuff going out this way, but we don't want this one going upwards. That's going to go out that way. Happy, we're going to give a lot of length there, but reduce that, reduce that, reduce that one right. And again, although it's a main going that way, I still want to put my own spin on it, so I'm quite happy to have a little bit of growth that might be here. So it's blowing in that way, blowing this one. So I'm really just looking at the buds that are going to take me that way. There's buds there. That'll go off that way. Let's just shorten these right down. And my aim is to avoid putting wire where I can, so I'm looking at where those bud points are. This will be a nice one to come out. There's a nice one there, which I quite like the look of. So we'll want that one. These ones, quite happy with that one going upwards. We're going to have a little small stub coming this way. We'll deal with that. So that's growth we want that way. We've got buds there. I want that one. These ones, these ones. I'm really happy that that's going to come out that way. This one, not happy with that. We don't need a little bud in the crotch there. The chances are this is just going to be decoration of the front. And when we look at this branch coming up here, 1, 2, probably 3. Again, contributing that way. Here, have a look, we've got a bud there. I don't want anything going upwards. So they're going the direction I want, and on this side, stub there, we haven't got anything here, which I'd really like, to be honest. If the wind's blowing this way, it's unlikely we'd have this effect here. So let's at least limit that and see if we get something more coming that way. Certainly we've got that one. Got this little one down here. Let's cut them back a bit and we'll see what happens. Winterwash. Give that a good spray. Now, you are not supposed to put Winterwash against live leaf mass. Not supposed to be too good for it. But I don't imagine that staying there for very long. And as I say, if these bud out and we get no reserve buds behind it, potentially we'll be waiting for new stuff to come out from the trunk. It will be interesting to see that in the spring. Hey, I think it's come a long way. I'm starting to see that direction. I hope you are too. Before we wave off, while we're doing silver birch, let's have a look and see at a couple of other smaller ones that I did a bit of autumnal work on. And so we've got this great big root structure here, or this great big gnarly, I think it is part of the roots actually, and we got suckers coming up. So I like growing the suckers, and I'm sure that we're going to get another sucker coming up at some point. So with silver birches, you can definitely cut back until you get to the base, and certainly Mr. Tiger likes it. So we've got a little one here. It's got a little side branch just here, don't want that. He's got lots of buds all the way up here. If we go by my normal principle, then I'd go back to 2 buds. But look how thin it is. Am I ready to prune that? No, I want this to continue to climb up, so I'll let all those buds, or whichever ones come to fruition, go up and thicken that. Because I want it to be nearer the thickness of this. You can have a lot of fun with little whips and stuff like that. I'll show you another way I deal with them, because this one, the entire the entire main trunk died off, and thankfully I got some whips coming up from the base, some suckers which I'm growing. But there's another option I take as well. What I've done is done a cut and basically cut it right down, and well, I suppose it's the same thing really, but the suckers are much in closer. The suckers here have come right from the base, and I'm going to develop those as a clump. And these I will prune back proportionally, because what I don't want to do is create any obvious issues that may happen with crossing stuff and crossing growth. So I'll probably just take, because I don't want this to be any bigger than this, so it's always going to be barmay size. I will probably cut that bound further in the springtime, but for now I'm happy. That's fully sealed. I don't want to risk the introduction of any sort of horrible, noxious foreign bugs or anything, or bacterium. Let's just get rid of a little weed there. And as I say, Silver Birch will do this all the time from the base. Okay, so I've got these two done, and it just brought me back to one thing. I had a couple of people ask me about my Winterwash and what I use, and I couldn't find the label at the time, but here it is. It's called Growing Success Winter Tree Wash, and I've been using it for the last couple of years. Use it between October and December. It's got a lovely little cap that puts the measurements out and everything for you. Treats insects, their eggs on dormant fruit trees to prevent future damage, and it's friendly to children and pets. I think that's why I got it, so that I don't know, do they mix it with their cordial?
Let's not go there.
It's a product made from vegetable oil which works through physical action. Totally natural product. So there you go, that's what I use. And I mix it up in the required stuff, and then, as I say, it gets applied to all those deciduous trees once the leaves have dropped. Now, before we go back to the landscape photograph bonsai project, I want to make a quick thank you, big thank you, to those who actually watched my standalone video. I'm not being paid for this right now, but I did want to clarify, because a couple of you seemed a bit confused and thought I'd betrayed the channel or something. Well, do you know what? The bottom line is, I like to be able to afford to buy Christmas presents for my children every now and then. I don't work, and not because I don't want to, it's the way things are. I don't get benefits, so I try to get by as best I can. YouTube has been a wonderful stream, and that's down to yourselves. And I don't think it takes too much to work out that YouTube itself is one big sponsorship deal. More and more ads going on there which are outside our control. But I do want to say thank you. It was a standalone ad. It was something that was offered to me from that particular company, and because of that, one of the newly married couple are going to have a really gorgeous Christmas present. So I don't regret it at all. I will say, in terms of ads, if I get a chance again, I may well consider it, if I think it's a reasonable product and if I think it works with bonsai. I'm wearing them now, because as soon as I finish filming, I'm going to be doing a load of work on this Juniper, and it's lovely to be able to switch off and listen to some classical music without the risk of breaking your phone. That's why I did it. So again, I'm not going to apologise to anyone who didn't like it, but trust me, that's not a channel betrayal. That's just me looking after my children at Christmas, and I think anyone who has been in the same position as me would jump at that opportunity. So thank you again for all those who put up with my advert. I didn't try and sell it as a bonsai advert, it was a standalone review of a product that I'm really happy with now. Anyway, let's get back to Silver Birches. Oh, sorry, I've got a phone call.
That was a dig, right?
Anyway, what you're hopefully seeing now is a couple of pictures from Sharon, who a long time ago sent these in relation to how she was doing a photograph challenge with a bonsai. And probably the best time to say, I would like other people to show me what they've done with their own photographs. You know, go out there, capture a tree, something that really grabs your imagination, and start the process. It makes it personal to you, it makes it fun, and ultimately you're trying to represent something that occurs naturally in nature. Now, of course, impressionistic, it doesn't need to match it sort of centimetre to centimetre. We're giving that feeling of a magical photograph. So, tell you what, I'm challenging you, get out there, have a look and see if you've got one of those special photographs somewhere, In my case, I've used one from Tony Higginson's collection, God rest his soul, and I'm going to continue to develop that. But yeah, and if you want to know where to send your updates or little video clips or whatever of what you've done for your photograph bonsai, for what you've done for your bonsai photograph challenge, then whack them to me. The email that you can use is in the description now, so we don't need to have it whacking up on the screen. But I'd be really interested to see what other people are achieving, or indeed have already achieved. So without further ado, let's crack on back to me a week or so ago. In fact, before I did that ad. So really, there's only one more thing to say. If you want to see how this was actually originally constructed and put together, that's the video you need to watch. It's worth it, honestly. Would this face lie to you? All the best, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.